Although a relatively new sport, snowboarding has already developed a large service industry, with shops in all the major resort towns offering equipment hire and tuition.
Okay, these are all softs. Now you get soft and hard. The hard bindings, the technique's much the same. Different type of control with hards, slightly sort of more forgiving with soft bindings. Okay. Right, are you really familiar with these bindings at all? Clip system. Okay. If you look here, okay, basically it's just a ratchet. It just slots in, and you press down on this catch here, see, to release it. Okay. If anybody has any problems, I'll be there to help you. Okay. Fairly simple. Right, now you've all been set according to your stance, regular or goofy. Right, when we come to attach the board, make sure that the board is up the slope with our foot stopping it from sliding off. Attach the leash first, and then we put our front foot into the binding. This not only saves you from the board from sliding off down the slope, it also makes sure that you can actually make sure you're not actually sitting in the snow, okay? So it saves a wet bum. Right. You attach your heel binding, the heel strap first, the one closest back to your heel. That pulls your foot back into the binding, and then the front one. As soon as we've done that, dig your toe in and stand up over the board. Keep our foot above the board. Right. Okay, it's just one of these things that comes with practice, okay? Right, now if you want to walk up and down the slope, same thing applies. Dig your toe in and step up and down the slope. Then back down again. Okay, right. Okay, right, now what we're going to do. Make sure you don't kick the person next to you. If we're in this position, we want to turn the board around. This is what we have to do, which is another laugh. Okay. And back the other way.
If you're freestyling with a flexible boot, yeah, because you've got more control, more forgive if you're landing. Most people want to tweak. They have a lot more movement in their legs, then they can get around, do any trick they want to do. Whereas with a stiffer boot, it's better for carving, better for going fast, more stable from edge to edge. But you'll lose the forgiveness that you get from a flexible boot. It varies. There's so many boots out in the market now that the choice is endless. Basically, for our rental ones, we go for the most comfortable one we can get. Before you go down to 42, because they do stretch. Right. You should wear them, especially with rubber soles, they will start to stretch a little. And with them being leather, they'll stretch too. Right. It's another thing a synthetic one won't. I'll get you an 8. See how that feels like. Fit basically like a shoe, like a good hiking boot would fit. You don't want to have your heels lifting, because if they're lifting all the time, you end up getting blisters. You don't want it too narrow around your feet, because when you're landing, feet spread out. You want a little bit of space at the front of your boot, so when your feet do spread out at flat landings, the toenail's not bashing against the end of the boot and jabbing into you. So just want it comfortable. Also, you want to look at your board and make sure it's not getting toe overhang, like hanging over the edge of your board. If it's hanging over the edge of the board, it's going to drag on toe side cars. different story completely. It's like around
Most skiers, trying snowboarding for the first time, will prefer the responsive nature of hard boots and plate bindings, as they give a similar feel to skiing. They are designed for high-speed control on well-groomed slopes.
Right, my hand closest to the nose of the board, and it's one quick movement to get up, but when you stand up, make sure you keep your legs bent. Okay? So you just push up, put your weight forward over the board, and then stand up, keeping your legs bent. Right? Okay, now you're all on your heels now, if you know what I mean. Okay, so your heels are into the slope. That's what we call heel side. Okay, I am toe side, because my toes are into the slope. So you should understand now what heel side, toe side. So if I do a toe side turn, I'm on my toes into the hill. Heel side, heels into the hill. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to slide down the hill with our heels into the slope, like in the position you're in now. Right. So if we're side slipping down the hill, what we want is we want our weight evenly on the board. Okay, and we face in the direction we're going with our heads up, arms out, and our legs flexed for balance. Okay, so you keep good flexibility, try and relax. I know it's very easy to say, but just try and relax. Okay, now what we're going to do is exactly the same thing, but on our toes, okay? Which is a lot easier to get up. Okay, so you find it a lot easier to get up. Right, all it is basically a toe side heel, side slip. Okay, exactly the same principle, weight the same, legs flexed. Okay, and all you got to do is don't worry about falling down the slope, but be aware of your downhill edge. Because if you catch it, you'll go flying over it. Okay, so just be aware of catching your downside edge. Just ease out again. And you can slow yourself down by digging your toes in, rotating your ankles. Okay? Nice and steady, easing yourself down, facing up the slope, keeping your head up, arms out for balance. Some of you may find it easier. Okay? Okay, everybody.
Like really getting onto your toes, just on the balls of your feet. Yes. Yes. Then trying to get even slide. How you getting on there? That way. Not this. Good idea on my part. Oh. Then rest. Okay, right. If you find that one part of your board starts going down the hill, just lean your weight on the other foot and it'll come back.
Racing board, it's generally narrower than the pipe boards. That's for quicker edge-to-edge turning. It uses plate bindings that you use hard boots on, so you can obviously turn a lot faster. And it's generally a lot stiffer and longer than pipe boards, which is something like this. This is a more traditional one with a longer curve, but nowadays they seem to come along with a shorter curve and less slip on them. So like for fun parks where there's not a lot of hider, they use soft bindings like these, where you use soft boots as well, which are more like trainers than the hard boots used on racing boards. That's just for extra tweaking and more tricks really. It's also got the lower tip and tail to spin faster. They're a lot shorter to do more tricks on. And they vary in length from 1.11 m to about 1.60 m. These are generally freeride boards, as you can see. They'll have a set back stance. This one's upside down. they'll generally be one directional, so bigger nose will let you float in powder, whereas the freestyle boards you can go either which way on them. This one will have setback stance, so big nose powder. This one's an out and out powder board, so big cliffs, big powder, trees. It's got a much bigger nose as you can see than any of these ones. But it uses the same principle as bindings as freestyle boards, so you can spin as well and then do trips. Yeah, so it's just for all mountain riding, really free riding.
Okay, right, so what we do is we're going to get onto what we call falling leaf. Now, here's where we start to change direction on the board, okay, making the board move somewhere else. Now, some of you maybe all noticed that if you turn or look somewhere, the board will start to go there. Any change of weight, direction of your actual hips and shoulders will make the board move in that direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to side slip down the hill on our heel side, and if you just watch very carefully. Now when I say flexing along the board, if I want the board to go that way, I turn my hips and shoulders that way. Now you must turn your hips as well. It's no good doing that. Okay, it's hips and shoulders. Now if you notice what happens to my leg, okay, as I do that, it bends in and the weight goes slightly onto the front of the board. Likewise, if you go the other way, you change direction, stand up, and then sink down the other way, and the board will move that way. So you can balance yourself off. Don't let yourself go too far, right, or the board will shoot out from underneath you. Okay? Right, so you just watch what I do now. Not this first bit. Okay, here I go. Okay, if I want to go that way, stand up.
Snowboarding is closely linked with street skateboarding in the UK. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly show you the toe side slip. Okay, exactly the same as everything basically, but just if you can relate to it, it might make things slightly easier. Okay, now some of you have noticed what you might have done is over-rotated, gone too far steep down the slope, and the board shoots out from underneath you. Okay, well, it's just a matter of practice and getting your balance right. Okay, so what we're doing is we want the board to go that way. Apply our weight slightly forward of the board and turn our hips and shoulders in that direction. The board will slide off. Stand up.
the other way. Okay. Up. Okay, I'll start going that way this time. Okay, what we do is set the board off as before, turn the hips and shoulders, weight slightly onto that side. Not too far, stand up, then the other way. Notice my hips facing that direction. Stand up, change direction again. So far is side slipping, heel side, toe side. Okay, falling leaf, heel side, toe side. Okay, just a matter of carrying on that practice anyway. Okay, but we basically got the concept of it. Just all the time practice, get used to where you're weighted on the board. So what we've really done now with that falling leaf is we've done like a mini turn in some ways. We've released the board, let it drop down the slope and skidded. Okay, and then we change direction, go the other way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a heel side turn. So we'll do a turn one way, heel side first, then toe side, and then we'll link them up. Okay, it's very important to watch how I do it, how I lift up, sink down. Okay, that's why each time you change direction, you lift up before you change direction, and then push down to the next. Okay, right, so heel side first. I'll do it first for the regular riders, and I'll do it the other way then. Right, I'll spin round. So, heel side turn. Can you all hear me down there? Yeah. Right. Okay, first of all we have to release the board, get the nose of the board to drop down the slope. So we lift up, turn slightly to the right. The board will drop down the slope. Then I stand up, turn my hips and shoulders to where I'm going to turn, and then sink down into the turn. Okay, I'll do it a couple of times for you. Okay, okay. If you just watch now. Release the board. Stand up. Right. So again, stand up. Turn. Let the board drop down the slope. Stand up. Sink. You can see as I twist my shoulders and hips how the board spins. Okay, there's a few points there that you probably would have found by trial and error. Okay, some of you may have found that you over-rotated, which means you turned too far in the turn and you've spun around backwards. Okay, some of you might not have been turning your hips and shoulders into the turn. So I'll just show you again what we're doing. Right, just watch carefully this time. Okay, now stand up, release the board, stand up. What I want you to do now is to roll onto the hip, right, the inside of the turn. So for regular riders, it would be your left leg, keep it for your right. Have a go at that. Everybody, just sit, just lay on the hip that'd be into the turn. Right, now that's a position that you'd be going into in the turn. That's how much you need to get your hips and shoulders round. Okay, so just remember what we do is stand up and then sink down into the turn, turning your hips and shoulders into the direction you want the board to go. Will actually turn. It can't help but happen. Back foot skids round. Okay, so we stand up and then spin the turn, but not too hard. If you spin too much, you can only do 360s. Keep practicing this, these things over and again, heel side, toe side. Okay. What we're going to do now is I'll just show you the toe side turns. Okay, then we're going to have a practice, and then what I want you to do after that is we'll practice toe side, see how you are, and then what we'll get better at your weaker one, and then we'll link the two up. So by the end of the lesson, you'll have a basic knowledge of what you should be doing to link your turns up. Right. So toe side, you would have found, some of you now, certain little things that, like if you lean too far back, or if your leg goes straight, then it doesn't work. Okay, the board won't do the things you actually want it to. Okay, you must keep exaggerating the standing up. Okay, so it's up, turn, and then down into the turn. Okay, so sometimes you can say that to yourself: up, twist, and then down into the turn. But if you go down, it drives that back knee into the front and makes the board work properly. Okay, right. So what we're going to do now is toe side turns. Some people find these easier than the heel side. So the basic principle is exactly the same. So what I do is I turn down the slope to let the board drop down the hill. Just do that as far as you want. You don't have to go straight down the slope. You can do it just at an angle and just get the feel of a gentle turn. So stand up, turn, release the board, stand up, down, looking back up the slope. Okay, everybody watching again? Okay, so what I do, turn to get the board dropping down the slope. Stand up, down the turn. Okay? Just like that. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, same things apply, making sure you're keeping your weight pretty central on the board, right? Not having a stiff leg. If you have a straight leg, the technique doesn't work. Okay? Right, but think of it, if I stand here and drop the back of the board down, okay? If I skid that foot down, sinking down, skidding that foot out, that's basically what we're doing, but you don't want to end up facing up the slope, you just want to end up stopping. Okay, just single turn, stop. Same thing applies heel side. Okay, you sink down, keep that foot out, not fall over like that.
More advanced riders wishing to learn how to jump can attend camps throughout the season, where they will receive tuition from top UK riders such as Simon Smith. Both novices and intermediate riders gain insights into the more adventurous side of the sport, and so hopefully make the learning curve a little less painful.
Usually when you approach a jump, You always approach it on a flat base. You don't want to be on an edge. You only go on an edge when you're going to rotate. You approach fast. You'll know if you're going fast enough, because if you're approaching the jump and it seems too fast, then it's fast enough. If you approach the jump when you're not going to think comfortable speed, you'll find you've not got enough speed, just dribble over it. The best bet is to go flat base. As soon as you come up to the jump, you should leave the lip on it, throwing the weight onto the back of the board and then tucking the board up underneath you. And when you're looking in the air, you look for where you're landing. Find your landing, stretch out for it, land on a flat base, control your speed, then go onto an edge. You don't want to go on an edge as soon as you land, otherwise you just end up butt checking it all the time. That's basically it for the jump. All is basically riding flat base again. While you're riding flat, you throw your weight onto the back of the board, onto the tail. You use the flex of the tail to carry the board up into the air. And once it's up, tuck your board underneath your feet, and extend out again, land flat, right away.
We'll move on a stage now. Okay, basically we've done a turn to a heel side turn, okay, and a toe side turn. Okay, what we're going to do now is try and link them up. Now you may not do it first time, okay, you may have to go back and practice your heel side turns and your toe side turns individually, okay, just to get that, the practice in, and it's just all practice. But basically everybody's doing quite well so far. Okay, right. So this is now you'll see the importance of why I was saying stand up, because you need it in between the turn. You need to stand up. What I'll do is I'll demonstrate first, and you can just keep just have a watch and just see exactly the sequence that I'm doing. So what I basically do is I turn, get the ball going down the slope, stand up, turn my hips, my shoulders into the direction where I want the board to go, okay? And then sink down into the turn. Now the thing to watch, especially when you're doing link turns, is overturning. If you turn too far up the slope, you've got a hell of a long way to get back round again. So it'll make your job much harder. So the minute you've finished your turn, stand up, turn the next direction where you want to go. Okay, whether you start heel side, toe side, okay, whichever one you feel more confident on. Okay, so what I do first, keep going, stand up. Stand up, turn, up. Right. Another little pointer that may just help me, just to finish off with. What I say sometimes, you imagine if my front foot is staying down the fall line. Everybody knows what the fall line is. It's just basically if you roll a ball down the slope, it's the direction that would take. Okay? If my front foot stays there, if you were hopping this foot backwards and forwards, okay, behind you, you'd have to do the similar motion to what we're doing when we're actually turning on the board. Okay, like this. Okay, up. This sort of thing. Okay, that's what we're doing down the slope. That's why we have to go up, because if you don't rise up, you can't move your foot. That's the basic feel of what we're doing. So if you think on those lines, and even maybe try that when you're turning, you might get some success with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk up the slope and just show you what you will be doing in the future. Okay? Right.
When it comes to using the lifts and drags, the rear foot should always be removed. This is to allow you to put yourself in the safest position for using the lift. With the chairlift, it's a simple matter of watching the chair, and when it's close enough, sitting down and enjoying the ride. Drag lifts require a little more concentration, but should pose no problems. Again, walk into position, look for the drag and grab it when it's near. Place the bar or button behind the leading leg, place your trailing foot on the board in front of your rear binding, relax and wait for the slack to be taken in. Here is a clear demonstration of why you should unclip your trailing foot. Not only does he fall, but he's unable to move out of the way. This also applies to those riding double. On reaching the top of the mountain, simply release the drag, walk to a safe spot away from the lift, and clip in again.